Just by the book. Remember, the person who wrote the book is not the person who's ordering the test.
Yeah.
This is not the real case scenario. Yes, we follow certain tools. We definitely follow certain tools. But then, all depends on the situation. If the doctor orders like a blue only, and then I said, I don't want to contaminate this, the doctor suggests, or the laboratory suggests, to draw first a red one, but just a little bit, just to flush the blood, any contamination that might be there, because I want to make sure that the blood that is going to be collected on the next tube, that is not the first, is going to be clean. It's going to be reliable for the analysis. So the whole thing changes a little bit. Fortunately for the test, for the exam that you're going to have, they're not going to put scenario like that. This is in the workplace. Is that understood? So when if you're going to follow the order of draw, you're going to follow it religiously. First, you're going to get the cultures, blood cultures. If the doctor orders blood cultures, that will be number one.
Yeah.
Number two is going to be the light blue, which has the sodium citrate. Then it's going to be the red. The red alone. Then whether it's the red with the gray or the gold, which is the same. You're going to use either or because it's the same tube, different manufacturer. Then you're going to go for the green, light green. Then you're going to go for the lavender. And then the gray. That's it. You're done. These are the 6 tubes. What are you going to do with the other colors if they order? It doesn't matter. They don't keep an order. The next tubes, regardless of who they are, which they are, you are going to collect it in that order. But the first 6 colors, you need to collect it in that order. If they don't order blood cultures, which is going to be the first one, the blue one. If they don't order blood cultures and the blue, light blue, which one will be the first? Whichever you have there, the red. If it is not the red, the combine or the speckle or SST or the tiger. They have different names in the office.
Yeah.
And you gotta get familiar with all these. So I like to explain my students what is it that they're gonna encounter in your workplace. When I start working as a medical assistant, a doctor says, "Can you draw me speckle from the patient?" I didn't know what the heck was speckle.
That's the red and black.
Right. So then another one says, "Oh, I want the tiger tube." Tiger tube. Now they have names and things like that. I never learned that in school. Mm-hmm. You learn it as you go in your workplace. But the easiest thing to do is, because some doctors, they just don't give you the requisition form. So no, then they just tell you what you, get me a lavender. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. Get me a speckle. And then they give you the order later on. But the right thing to do is to give you the order so you know exactly which tube you're gonna collect, independently of the name of the order of the test that is gonna be done. You don't care about the test. You care about what tube you're going to collect and the order that you're going to collect it. So that's basically what it is. For my classes, I teach my classes like you were in the real world.
Yeah, she been here. Yeah, she's been the first teacher.
Because that's how it is. That's how it is. So when you, that's why, have you noticed that sometimes you take some courses and when you going to apply, you say, this is not the same as what I learned. Mm-hmm. The things change scenarios. Why? Because the books tell you one thing, but what you really encounter, and that's what I like to do. I combine what is the book with the things that you're going to encounter in your office.
Like when he was doing phlebotomy, he was telling everybody like they could go like that, and I was told not to do that.
Not at all. That hemolyzes the blood, right, and so that is a question for your exam.
He told
if
me
you
to do that.
tap,
Like,
you don't tap.
You
don't fall. You don't bend your arm after you develop a hematoma. So those things, back in the days, and people who come from other countries, that's how they do it. Back in the days, not that just with 2 fingers, just slap you and leave your arm red. Mm-hmm. No, that is not the way to do. Because what you're doing is you are breaking those red blood cells.
And then people feel like, I might feel some type of way. You might
That's
hit me.
uncomfortable. No, that's very uncomfortable. That's very uncomfortable.
I don't need you to hit me.
Exactly. No, it's not necessary. You put the tourniquet, you ask the patient to close the face. Remember, back in the days, you open and close. Now, you hemolyze, you destroy those red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Because remember, there is a tourniquet right here. The blood does not pass easily because it is a blockage right there. So you're squeezing so hard that you're pushing the blood through this little channel, they're going to be destroyed. It's the same with the needles. When you have someone like me, for this vein, you have to use the largest gauge. So we use 2 gauges, 21 and 23. That is it. You're not going to use any other gauges. Butterfly. Because 23 is the smallest one of the 2 that I mentioned. And one is green, the wings are green, that's 21. The one that has the wings light blue, that's 23. If somebody has small veins, regardless of who they are, you use the smallest gauge. If I have this big vein, can you imagine all the blood that passes through there and you put a small gauge needle, which is very narrow? Blood trying to pass through this very narrow tube is gonna hemolyze. This is like having like 20 people right here and trying to get through that door at the same time. You're gonna injure yourself. So these are the questions for the exam. Sometimes the questions are not just straightforward. You need to understand, especially for complications when you draw blood. It's like when I'm telling you that the patient is cold, what you have to do when the patient is cold and you're doing an EKG, you cover them, you give them a blanket. Correct. You clean the area where you're going to apply the electrodes before. Because if you don't clean, those electrodes are not going to stick to the skin, not going to adhere. So all these electrical impulses that are so minimal, they're not going to pass because there is a blockage, there is a barrier right there with sweat, oil, creams, powders, so many things that people put in their body. They look clean, but if you remove something, go take a shower. Few minutes later, take a little gauze and scrub it over your arm. It's gonna look like you have dirt right there. When you're cleaning the patients, when you're doing the blood, you're gonna see. And don't tell them, look how dirty you are.
Oh, no.
No, because that, remember, no, I have people saying that. So be careful, because that's basically what. I've been getting these allergies, oh my God. And this is what kills me.
My allergies was messing me up yesterday. I was like, all summer, I was fine. And now all of a sudden, it started getting
Because
chilly.
it start
The
changing,
wind is blowing
yeah.
and all this stuff.
Start changing, and that's me.
And then, like, I don't know, for some reason, when my allergy itch, my ear, the inside of my ear, it's like I can't itch it. Like, it's a spot in my ear that I can't just get to. I put a Q-tip in. I know I'm not supposed to put Q-tips in my ear. But it's just itchy. Like, my ears, the inside of my ears itch a lot with my allergies.
Okay, this is what you're gonna do when it itches. You take a little peroxide, okay? Just a little bit. Put like 3, 4, 5 drops in there and let it kind of boil in there because that's a little yeah. And then you put it like this and that goes away. Okay, it's because of the allergy. I have it, and that's what I'm telling you.
Because I was trying to, I was like, oh my God, I got to get to this itch. And I'm going to do it when I get home because it's still itch. Like,
yeah. And what you do with the Q-tips is like you kind of go around and you kind of scrape the inner of the ear, and that exactly. And then sometimes you even bleed. Yeah. And then you develop an infection, an external lymph infection. Yeah. So do that, and you will see. Then you will be fine. Let's see. Where is the rest of the students? How many students in total?
Supposedly 16, 12,
16?
Yeah.
In this
How do you
class?
fit 16 in this class?
Oh no, it's supposed to be like 22 of us in this class.
22? But no.
But none of them, only 16 of us probably showed up. But in total, it's supposed to be 22.
I never seen 16 here. The maximum that I've seen is 8 or 9.
Yeah, I don't know. They said new people supposed to be coming.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know how to answer that either. Cause I remember the first day of class and you got everybody in here squished up. I don't want to deal with that again. And I want to be able to sit with my legs open like a boy.
Oh, cool. 我上了一下午课，困了。我下午去上口语去了，上了一下午，要不是我状态不好，困。我早上没有喝咖啡。口语课讲什么？
Let you know what.
最简单的。我去找听力去了。
Okay, let's start because I don't know what's going on with the rest, but we're gonna go move on. Last Friday, I was supposed to start this, but on Friday, not many people showed up. So I just went over some other stuff, easy stuff, so you guys didn't miss this part because this part is really important for you. This is how to calculate the heart rate. Remember that the heart rate, we're going to talk about heart rate, we're going to talk about the rhythm, and some of the different presentations that the heart is going to have when the heart is not functioning normally. So that's called arrhythmias. So let's move on with this. So we can calculate the heart rate in different ways. So remember, we have the atria and the ventricles. Always put that in that way. It's like we have the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart. So when the atria contract, we know then whatever we see on an EKG, if the atria contracts or depolarizes, what is it that we see on an electrocardiogram? What causes on an EKG when the atria contracts? So this is an EKG. Missing the P, Q, R, S, T. So if the atria contracts, what do we see on an EKG?
And go up.
The first one, the P wave.
Sorry.
Now it goes up because it's positive, yeah. But when the atria contracts, what is the image that we're going to see on an EKG? Pay attention to this because if you take the national exam or the EKG exam by itself, these will be the questions. Now, when you take the national exam, questions on EKG are very minimal. Is that understood?
Yeah.
Well, let's say that I'm going to send you the test. This would be there. So, pay attention because we have 4 chambers of the heart, right? Upper and lower chambers. This is the atrium. Oh, the atria, sorry, this is low, and ventricles. So when the upper part of the heart contracts, that is going to eject blood to the lower part, we see the P wave. So this is the representation of the atria on an EKG. That's why when the doctor orders an EKG, they're going to see, is the atria working fine? Why? Because I'm gonna see my P that is nice and round and it is positive, right? Now, knowing that when the atria contracts, we're gonna see the P wave. So what happens when the ventricles contract? What are we gonna see?
QR.
The QRS. That's the interpretation that you need to know. Not for you to go there and interpret an EKG, but for you to understand each one of those little deviations or deflections or waves that we see on an electrocardiogram. So atria contracts, we see the P wave. Ventricles contract, we're gonna see the QRS. The T wave is when the ventricle relaxes. So repolarization will be here. And this is the entire one heartbeat. So anytime that the upper chambers contracts, we're gonna see the P wave. Remember that. When the ventricles contract, we're gonna see the QRS. So if someone has problems with the atria, you're gonna see some of the conditions that you're gonna develop because of the atria problems. And we are going to focus on the atria. Hey, how you doing? Good. So then we're gonna see the ventricles. And remember that we mentioned that the atria has certain speed, right? Has to be between 2 to 3 little blocks. If it is more than that, then we're gonna have a problem. It's too long. But that's for later on that we're gonna discuss. For now, I just want you to understand this picture. So the atria contracts, we're gonna see the P, the ventricles contracts, we're gonna see the QRS. So when you see the questions on the exam, as soon as they talk about atria, you should immediately be thinking about, oh, they talk about the P wave, or vice versa. They talk about the P wave, immediately you should be thinking about the atrium. Is that understood? Same goes for the QRS. If they are talking about the ventricle, anytime that they talk about ventricles, immediately you should be thinking about, I'm gonna look on the QRS. That's the problem. Yes? Because that's how we're gonna understand a lot easier this. Because just knowing all the PQRS and repeating doesn't mean anything. What it means, what really get you to understand this is that you understand that every single wave that we see on an electrocardiogram represents one part of the heart. What is doing, what is happening at that time. So we're gonna investigate. So let's say that this P wave shows inverted, it's on this side. So I immediately know that the patient is having problems with the atria. Or just don't see the P wave. The P wave is not seen. I know that the problem is with the atria. Correct. Now if I have a problems with the QRS, I'm gonna be seeing it differently. Or too large, or too wide, or inverted. So I'm gonna say, and it is the QRS, any parts of the QRS, immediately I think the ventricles is the problem. And if I have problems with the T, I'm gonna figure it out that also is the ventricles, because it's the last part that contracts. The atria contracts, relaxes a little bit, the ventricles contract, relaxes a little bit, it relaxes more, and continue the same cycle. Then I see the P, remember the T that goes this way. I know already that that's not the right shape of the T because it's supposed to be nice and round. So now I know that something is wrong with the ventricles relaxation. So I'm gonna focus on that and I'm gonna see what is causing that, okay? So that's basically what we do when we are evaluating an EKG. That's why your job as a medical assistant is to do a good printout. Make sure that you follow all the recommendations, all the steps, so I can see all these waves without any trouble, okay? That's basically what it is. So we're gonna calculate, it says number of QRS complexes per minute. The heart rate is the number of QRS complexes in an entire strip. It can be in 6 minutes, it can be in 10, and 6 minutes, 6 seconds, it can be in 10 seconds. So we're gonna count these most of the time. We can count the rate of the atrium. If we count the rate of the atrium, what should be counting? The P waves, right?
Yeah.
If we count the ventricle rate, then the QRSs. But really, for us to know the heart rate of our patients, we're gonna count the number of QRS. Not exactly the QRS, but from R to R. Here's one R, here is another R, here is another R, here is another R. So if we're gonna count, it was 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
We
R to
have
R.
4 of them. So we have 40, the rate, because we're gonna multiply it by 10. We're gonna go for that. So for now, it's just, this is what I want you to understand. That if somebody says, if you're gonna find out what is the rate of the atria, what would you do? I'm going to count the number of all the P's on one strip. If you're gonna calculate the heart rate of the person following the QRS, following the ventricles, I'm gonna count a number of QRS complexes in one strip. Is that understood? Remember that we usually use strip number 2. The rhythm strip is strip number 2, remember. Don't forget about that because that's very important. There are 3 methods that we're going to learn how to calculate the heart rate. The first one, here in America, we use the 6 seconds strip method. In Europe, they use 10 seconds. But we're not living in Europe, and we're going to be tested here. So that is if you happen to run in one of these videos that you see in YouTube. Because remember, YouTube is global, right? So anyone from any country can just put a video there, and if you see that they are multiplying the number of QRSs per 10, it's because they are using the 10 seconds, but we are using the 6 seconds in this country. It is very easy. So to do this, to calculate the heart rate, remember we're gonna count the number of QRSs in one strip, in 6 seconds strip. I'm gonna show you what is the 6 seconds. How do you know this is a 6 seconds? Because it might be more than that. So basically that's what it is. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna count the number of QRS on that particular strip and you're gonna multiply it by 10. Now you know this is the heart rate of the patient. So let's do some samples right here.
Oh, wait.
No worries. It's for you to understand. I'm gonna go back. Here. How many QRS are on the top strip?
50.
5.
I done.
And to get the heart rate, what would you do? What would be the heart rate for the upper 50? Because it's, well, not because it says on top, but because you're gonna
does it say on
multiply
top?
the 1, 2, 3, 4,
Times
5 times 10, 50. If you have 7, what would be the heart rate? 70. You're not gonna believe me. I have one of my students getting a calculator.
For what?
To 7 times 10.
Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
I don't know all my multiplications. I remember.
You just add the 0 to the right of these numbers. If I have 10 right here, QRSs, what will be the heart rate?
100.
100. If I have 20, 200. Don't worry about, oh, doesn't sound normal, because the normal heart rate is what? What is the normal heart rate?
60 to 100.
Correct. 60 to 100 beats per minute. Now, if in your exam says, oh, there are 22 QRS on an EKG, what is the heart rate?
1,000.
Don't get scared. Yeah, no, not 1,000, no. 22
2,000.
times 10, 220.
I was gonna say 220.
Right, 2,000. This patient will be dead long time ago. So don't worry about, oh no, but it has to be in between. No, who say that this patient is normal? They can give you 1,000 QRS. In an exam, you just multiply by 10 and that is it. Because they're gonna tell you, using the method of 6 seconds, what is the heart rate for this patient who has this many QRS? So you just multiply by 10. In other words, add 0 to the right. That's it. You don't even have to multiply. So that is how it works. Here, what is the heart rate for this?
50.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 50. Because you're going to multiply this. Remember, on an electrocardiogram, we care more about the ventricles. So most of the time, what we count is from here to here. Now, we use this method when we have an irregular heart rate. What is irregular heart rate? Irregular is because this does not follow a pattern. See? From here to here, from here to here, the distance is different. From here to here, look at this. No, your heart rate has to follow like a nice pattern, right? Then every heartbeat is supposed to be beating at the same time. So the heart does like look, do, look, do, look, do, look, do. So every single
It's supposed to look the same.
exactly, but this is irregular. This is not meeting anything. So from here to here is different from here to here, from here to here. Oh, no. So it is very difficult for me to count right here following a regular one, because a regular one would be from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. So it will be at the same pace. So I can pick any one of these two and do the heart rate, because we're gonna do heart rate in a different fashion when it's regular. This is irregular. I just see it and I said, no, I cannot count this otherwise. How am I gonna calculate the heart rate? Let's say calculate the heart rate right here. But it's different from here to here, it's different here. We're gonna see that, because we're gonna calculate using the little squares. Okay? Or using the large squares. But here, if I use the little squares, if I count all the squares right here, here it will be 5, 10, 15, 18, 21. But if I count here, how many there are? 1, 5, 10, 11. It's not the same. So they are different. For that reason, this is considered irregular. Does not follow the same pattern. Every single bit should be at the same time. So let's go back. That was for you to understand. Okay, I went back. So this is the 6 seconds. So as soon as you see an electrocardiogram, the fastest method for me to use is the 6 second. You see it, you count all the QRS, immediately you say, oh, the heart rate is normal. Why? Because what I'm trying to compare is 60 to 100 beats per minute. That's what I'm trying to see. Now, if my heart rate goes beyond 100 or below 60, then immediately I know that my patient is having some issues, right? So I'm focusing on that. So that's basically what it is. That's why, see, whenever we see an electrocardiogram and it is within the normal ranges, we tell the patient, no problem, we do it next time, another one, but for now, everything is okay, because the heart rate is normal, and no other major changes we see in there. Now, we're gonna have the rhythm Oh, well, this is just for you to understand how this works. But there are certain terms right there that are a little difficult. It says the mean heart rate as determined using the 6-second method should be used only along with the heart rate range, not by itself. Well, what it's trying to tell you is we don't use an EKG as the last word. That's basically what it is. We have to take in consideration other changes on an EKG. But this is not something that you're gonna be asked. So just know that we have 3 methods to calculate the heart rate. And usually we focus these methods using the QRS. The first one, we're gonna use the 6 seconds EKG, which is all the QRSs that are within these 6 seconds. We're gonna count them and we're gonna multiply by 10. That is it, simple. Let's go to the second method. It's called the memory method. And yes, you have to memorize some numbers. You have to memorize all these numbers: 300, 150, 100, 75, 60, 50, 43, 37, 33, 30. Seriously? You don't have to memorize anything. We're gonna have a table there. So with that table, it's very easy. But the way that I'm gonna show you how that works is gonna be a lot easier. So we have a EKG that has 300 beat blocks every minute. That's this method. So this method, we're gonna use the 300 number. This is standard. You don't have to kind of figure it out what number you're gonna use. Is that understood? As soon as you see the memory method, this is the one that you're gonna use, 300. Once again, you don't have to memorize this number, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna count the number of big blocks there are within one QRS and another QRS. That's basically what it is. Remember, in order to do this, you must be sure that this rhythm is regular. Irregular ones, we always gonna use the 6 second. Regular one, because they go almost at the same pace, so you can pick any of the QRs in between 2 QRs and count the number of big blocks. In 1 minute we have 300 blocks. So remember that. If they ask you a question, how many big blocks are in 1 minute? You're gonna say 300. Later on, we're gonna see how many little blocks are in 1 minute. So that is the next one. So I'm gonna give you a table.
The irregular one is 6 seconds.
Correct.
The regular one.
The regular one, we're gonna use this memory method and another method that we're gonna use. The big blocks and the small blocks. Because sometimes, you know the methods. You said, oh, the 6 seconds. Yeah, but how the 6 seconds work? Oh, you multiply the number of QRSs by 10. What about the memory method? Oh, you're gonna count the big blocks. But how many blocks there are in a 1 minute? And you need to know that. Because if you don't know those things, then you don't know why you're using 300 instead of something else. Here it is. See, it's very simple. It's a numbers of big blocks in between. If you have one block, it's gonna be 300. And we're gonna see it. So for now, most of these things might look difficult for you, but this is what it's gonna be. Because 300 divided by 1, how much is it? 1. 300 divided by 2, 150. 300 divided by 3, See, it's easy. Now you need to know how to divide. That is it. I'm gonna count the number of, big blocks in between 2QRS, and I see 5 of them. Oh, I don't know how to divide, but I have my table. 300 divided by 5, 60. And so on and so forth. So that is basically what I want you to do. But practicing is going to be a lot easier for you because you're going to look at those squares and you say, oh yeah, I know now. So always try to, we call it memorization because it's each one of the blocks. So see, if you have one block, you immediately say, oh, the distance in between the QRSs of the 2 R's. It's going to be one block, oh, 300. There are 2 blocks in between, oh, 150, and so on and so forth. Don't worry about this. Let's go to this first, to this graphic. So this electrocardiogram looks large, looks regular or irregular?
Irregular. I say irregular.
Irregular?
Yeah.
I say regular.
Okay. If you see the distance between here, see? Here, 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 it's regular. It's not that they are taller or lower. Don't go by how high they are. They are off. See, what happened is that they are off these middle lines.
Yeah, that's what
And because they are off these middle lines, make it look like they were not in the same distance. So what we do is, we take a paper. Let's say, what is the paper? I'm gonna get my paper. Let's use one of these papers from the school. Okay, so this is what we do. We're gonna mark. Because I don't wanna mark right here because then I'm gonna from here to here. And then you're gonna go here. And then you're gonna go here. See? And then you're gonna go here. And then that's what we actually do in the
like
workplace.
a ruler?
Correct.
That's what y'all do in the hospital?
Yeah, that's what we do in emergency. That's what we do in the
I
office.
thought it was more complex than that, that's why.
No, people make it complicated because they start counting one by one, but because we want to know it's just fast. This is a faster way to know if it is regular or irregular. Now you understand the regularity and irregularity of an EKG presentation. Because remember, my job is not come here and try to show you off that, oh my God, I know how to interpret an EKG and you guys don't. That's not my job. My job is for you to understand how to calculate the heart rate in an easy way. Or at least you see it, immediately you said, oh my God, I know how to do. Oh, I understand. How good you feel when you kind of understand the easy way to do things. Everything has an easy way to do things. So we now know that this is regular. Now, one of the things that we can see here is we always gonna look for one of these lines. See, we're gonna look for this QRS that is on top of one of these big lines because it's a lot easier to count the big blocks, right? So let's say which one of these kind of one that we can use.
Hello?
There is one. Oh, scared me. This one. See, this one is off these lines. See, we're gonna look for one that is very close to these lines. Which one will be? This one, or this one, or this one? Which one? You can do any of those. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're gonna pick one of the QRSs that are over this dark line. This one, I couldn't choose this one because here is in the middle of the little blocks. I wanna make sure that I start counting from a big block and whatever is left, I'm gonna add it to. So let's say that I'm gonna use this one. So now, how many blocks from here? 1, 2, and 2 little lines. See? So if I have 2 blocks, I know that this EKG, what will be the heart rate with 2 blocks?
2 blocks, 150.
Correct. But it's not accurate. Why? Because it doesn't go from one block to the next block. See? These are blocks. All these, one block right here, one block or one box. But it doesn't mean exactly the same. For that reason, on the next slide, we're going to use the little blocks. Why? Because I can count all the little blocks in between here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So 152.
We're going to do it a little different. No. That's fine. We're going to do it a little different. Because now we're not going to use 300. Remember, when we use the big blocks, we're going to use 300 divided by the number of big blocks. But here, it goes beyond, but it doesn't cover the whole block. So we have to use the small blocks. So we're going to learn that now.
Excuse me, Professor. I'm sorry, but I have to go home.
What did I do?
No, not you. I'm having an asthma attack right now. And
You are?
Yeah, I need my asthma machine, so I need to go.
Oh, you didn't bring it with you.
No, I have my pump.
Oh, no, but
I
that's
need
not
the-
enough.
Yeah, it's not working.
You're feeling like you're going to...
Yeah.
Okay, go before you get any worse, okay? Feel better.
Tell me to go home.
You sign in, right?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So that's basically what it is. Now, the little block method. Remember, we have the big blocks, and if we have these QRS that are right there on those big blocks, we just count the big blocks. But the problem with an EKG is that none of them is going to be like right perfect, right? On the blocks, and the blocks is going to be easy. So we have the small blocks. So when we have the small blocks now, we are not going to use 300. Why? Because we are going to have 1,500 little blocks in 1 minute. Think about it. We have 1 minute.
Because don't one little block is 0.04 second?
Well, yeah, but we're not going to use the time. We're going to use the number of little blocks. How many little blocks do we have in one big block?
You said 1,500.
5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply by 300.
There's 5 little boxes.
Yes, and
And
each
one
block,
big box?
see, we have 300 big blocks, right? In 1 minute. But each block has 5 little ones. So if we're gonna use the 5 little blocks method, we're gonna multiply 5 little blocks times 100.
1,500.
1,500, which is what we have there.
I'm sorry, you said we're going to do...
Now the question
You
is
said we're going to do 5 times what?
300.
Thank you.
Remember that we have 300 big blocks in 1 minute. But now we're not gonna use the 300. We're gonna use the little blocks because we're not gonna use the large blocks. So if we're gonna use the small blocks, we have to count the number of little blocks in one big block and multiply it by 300, right? Makes sense. Because if I have 300 large blocks, but I'm gonna use not the big blocks, but the small blocks, now I have to multiply 300 big for the little ones that are 5. So that will be 1,500. So if you have a question in your exam when they ask you how many small blocks, remember they use these terms, little blocks or small blocks on an EKG. Then if it is little, small blocks, we have 1,500. How many large blocks in 1 minute?
300.
300. And remember, because we have 5 little blocks in each block, and in each big block, well, we have to multiply by 300, and then we have 1500. So let's say that we are going to determine now how to calculate. So what we're gonna do is, we instead of using 300 divided by the number of big boxes, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna divide it 1500 by the number of little boxes. Makes sense, right? No, by the number of little boxes depends on how many little boxes are there. So we're gonna do it. What I want you to understand, yeah, this is not simple. Remember, if you have big boxes in between the QR and the QRS, we're gonna count the number of big boxes and we're gonna divide that by 300, right?
Yeah.
So if you have, remember the table that I gave you. Now, instead of doing that, now we're gonna divide 1500 by the number of small boxes. We're gonna do it so you understand how that actually works. Remember, at the beginning it's not easy. Everything is unknown for you. So now that we go through all these, we're gonna do it.
Can you go back when you finish?
To this one?
No, to the one that you just left off of. Like when you finish showing whatever, can you go back down?
This?
The one that you just left off of. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you finish, you
Mhm.
can go back down.
Yep. Okay, so this is regular or irregular?
Hold on.
I think it's regular.
I think it's
It's
irregular.
Remember, don't look at, oh, it's upside down. No, we're not saying here does the patient has a problem or not. No. Regular is it from here to here, from here to here, the same space.
So it's regular.
Regular,
'Cause it look
because
like
the
it's-
timing, no, the timing is the same. It's just varies a little bit. So from here to here. Is the same as from here to here?
Yeah.
From here to here?
Yes.
From here to here is very similar. Look at that. So it is regular. I'm going to tell you a little exceptions to the rule. If you look at the numbers right here, this is 23, 23, 23, 23, 23 and a half, 23 and a half, 24. To be considered regular, you can have the same number of blocks, whether big blocks or small blocks, in between the R's. Is that understood? Or QRS's, whatever you're going to call. Usually we have the R's. We don't say, we count the number of QRS in 1/6 method, utilizing the 6 method technique, right? But here we are not gonna use that. We're gonna use from the R to the R because we're going from this tip to this tip to that tip. Now, exceptions to the rule. If we find an EKG that has 1 or 2 blocks more or less, it can go beyond. This is 23, 23, this is 24. This can be 25, but it goes back to 23, 24, 20. Anything in between 23 and 25, it is normal.
What if it goes lower than 23?
If it goes like this is 23, the other one was 21, or either or, whether less or whether more.
Okay.
This is 23, but it went 21. That's fine. And the next 23, 23, 21, 21, it can be 2 more or less.
Okay.
You can go beyond 2 blocks and below 2 blocks.
No.
Still considered regular.
And if you go below.
More than that, if you have 3 or 4, that's abnormal.
Okay.
But if it is below 21, 23, 21, 23, that's normal.
Okay.
23, 24, 25, that's regular. Not normal, regular. because it is just a little difference in between them. You know what I mean? So that's it. Now, if we're gonna count here, is this from here to here 2 blocks? No, because this has to be right here in this line, and this in this line for me to use the big blocks. Because I cannot have one little block off. It doesn't work the way. Here, I don't have any of these, none of them kind of meets the criteria, all getting it in one block. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use the method of the little boxes. So you don't have to count every single box. Count the big boxes, because we know that there are 5 little boxes in one big one, right? So let's say that I use this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Big.
How many little blocks?
I can't see.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 10.
4 times 5, 20. 5 little blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 4, 20. But then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 24. Now, how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna divide 500, 1500,
By 24.
divided 24. The number of little, now you understand?
Yeah.
For
now
the
I
number,
get it.
and here if it is 4 blocks, 3 divided by 4, big blocks. Here we're gonna divide it by 24. So what is the result?
Oh, I'm bad at division, baby.
Oh no. Then we use the calculator because it's a big number, right?
62?
Correct.
0.5. So then the heart rate and the other one was, I forgot.
1600.
No worries. So for this one will be 1500 divided 24, 62, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it says 62.5, you can go to 63, you can leave it 62. Now, is that regular or irregular? That is normal or abnormal?
That's
heart rate?
normal.
It's
That's
normal
normal.
because it's between 60 and 100 beats per minute. So that's the first thing that we do when we calculate the heart rate for our patients, because we need to know if the heart rate is normal or abnormal. Then we go for the rhythm, and then we go for other changes that we're gonna see if the patient is having a condition and which condition is it. So that's basically what it is. Let's say that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. If it is 5 big blocks, what will be the heart rate for this patient?
You said 5?
So, yeah, 5 big
5,
blocks.
10, 15, 20, 25. 25 divided by 1500.
No, 300 divided by 5 blocks.
Oh,
'cause we're doing
60.
two-
Because
we're
we
doing the big
remember
boxes.
I'm doing the big boxes.
Okay.
okay.
If
So-
I said 300 divided, whenever we talk about big boxes, we talk about 300.
Small boxes,
Little boxes or
1500.
small boxes, we're talking about 1500.
Okay.
Okay.
So what was the question you asked again? I didn't
1500 divided by.
Okay, so what is the heart rate of this patient?
Oh, because I don't know.
300 divided 5, 60.
Baby, I'm bad at division.
I'm bad at math.
See? For this one, it's very easy. Eliminate 1 0. 30 divide 5. 0.
Professor, if I did not learn math in the 35 years,
Hmm?
I probably didn't
Where
learn.
come from?
Huh? Where did this come from?
Where did the fly come from?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 big blocks. Calculating the heart rate. Assuming that this is right here. If you're gonna use the 6 blocks. All the big blocks.
Oh, it's wow.
Okay, don't go by that because you guys getting lost with this. No, just use this one. We have 24. Remember, this is 23, right? So let's say that this is 23, but this is not 23. It's 24 because it's right here, right? So 1500 divided by 24 equals 62.
I have a question.
Sure.
The numbers on the bottom, that's how many boxes?
Yeah.
we have?
Of course, in your EKG, you're not gonna have that.
Okay.
Because they will give it, that will be a given, right? No, you have to count it. But if you really count right here, this is one block less. So I have 24 right here, not 23. So whoever did the counting, that went to the same school as I did. So this is the small blocks, right? Getting that? There are 24 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 20, 24.
But
Because it's the small blocks, then we're gonna divide 1524. If there were 23, then we put here 23.
But didn't he count 23 because that line is covering one block?
Yeah,
You see, like right here,
Oh.
from there to the next one.
this
The
one.
next one is not covering one block.
This is
not
right
covered.
here and on the big line.
So we go by that,
Yeah,
by
because
the
that's
by the bottom.
yeah, but the bottom. Yeah, we don't go by here. No, it's
Okay.
by the end, the end.
Okay. No.
Because it's the tip, what
Okay.
the end of the deflection
Okay.
of the wave. Now, in an exam, they're gonna tell you there are 20 little blocks. Immediately, see, 20 little blocks. So what method I'm gonna use? 1500. If they said there are 6 big boxes or big blocks, I know the fact that telling me there are big blocks, I think about
Big
300.
box 300.
Exactly.
Big box 1500.
That's it. So that's how you're gonna answer your questions. Other than that, it will be impossible unless you have the EKG in front of you. But if you're not seeing it, they have to tell you. Other than others, they will ask you using the memory method. Now you know that the memory method goes the big blocks and the small blocks. So that's what you have to immediately think about it. Yes?
So.
What's going on?
Regular box 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and each little one, each block,
Yeah.
big block has 5 little ones. 5, 10, 15, 20, and 4, 24.
No, you are confused about 300.
That's 8.
300.
Oh, 300 is if we do the big blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that goes up to here. Don't get it twisted. Forget about that. Because I'm going to have one that we can count the big blocks, okay?
But you have a bachelor's.
这个图好，他们要整数吗？
Oh, so you probably got to change it to like freshman or something like that. That's what she's saying.
I think so. I touched her.
Okay, so this is regular or irregular?
Irregular, because the gap.
Because it says right there.
Because the gaps is big. That gap right there is big.
Because if you measure from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, it's totally different. Which method are we gonna use for this type of EKG?
The first one.
The 6
second.
seconds,
That's
correct.
sorry.
No, it's all right. 6 seconds because it's irregular. Now we can see it right here. Look at the difference. 17, 20, 30, 11, 21. There is no irregular. There is nothing that you can do about it. See, in a regular one, I can just pick this one because this one is the same as this one and this one. So I just pick one. Here, I have to measure this using the 6 method. So what is the heart rate of that EKG?
80?
Regular.
80?
Are we doing the six? The six.
This is the 6 method. What is the heart rate for this?
The regular.
So, yeah.
No, what is the heart rate?
Oh, you want us to actually do the math?
Not the rhythm.
10, 20,
The heart
30,
rate.
40, 50, 60, 70, 80.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80.
Wow.
Remember, when I ask the heart rate, no, I'm not saying when they ask you if it is regular or irregular, they will tell you that. Is this heart rate regular or irregular? But if I said which is the heart rate for this patient. Now you have to give me numbers
Oh, okay.
using the methods.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will say, is this regular or irregular? Now you know that it's irregular, and in order for me to calculate the heart rate on this patient, I have to use the first method that we mentioned, which is the 6-second method, remember. And it will be counting the number of QRS and multiply them by 10. Remember, that's how it works. This, regular or irregular?
Regular.
Right.
'Cause it was
25,
from
25,
to
26, 25, 26. This has 43. There is exception to the rule. We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
If you remember, if you go beyond 2 little boxes, below 2 little boxes, it's considered regular. It's also considered regular if you have one, only one, that goes off the charts.
Okay, so only one.
Right, you have to have one QRS that goes different. Still considered regular. Right, then we're gonna talk about why, but for now we're just looking at the picture. Regular or irregular?
Regular.
Let me see, hold on.
Look at the numbers. But let's say that you don't see the numbers, just think about, oh, from here to here, from here to here.
I say
They look-
regular because it's in all in the same range.
Exactly. But then there is something right here.
It's smaller.
Yeah, but there is only one. So
That's
then
why it's regular.
it's regular. But we're going to call it differently. It has some exceptions to it. Aquí they say regularity based on heart rate calculations. Now we're going to talk about these different presentations of an EKG. Still considered regular, but due to something that happens only once during all these heart cycle, okay? So regular rhythms interpreted by premature beats or pauses. The two presentations from the images that I already presented to you has these different types. One is an interrupted or premature beats. You're gonna see that. That's basically what it is. What is premature?
Early?
Correct. Something that went before. When the heart is beating regularly, right? Beat, beat, beat. Suddenly it changes only once. Due to something, not because it's abnormal. See? You're walking right here and then suddenly you step on something and you kind of tumble, right? Or fall. Your heart rate is going to change immediately. Are you going to die from the heart? Are you having a heart attack? Are you sick? No, it's the changes on your activity, something that happens. You were walking right here and somebody scared you, or you saw a car almost, crashing you. You're going to get scared, right? Your heart is going to beat, but that's going to go immediately. As soon as that passes, your heart is going to continue normally. These are different events that can happen. You get scared, you turn around and you see something, then your heart beats differently. You jump from one place, you step or misstep on the stairs, and then your heart, because you got kind of scared, right?
Yeah.
So there are certain things that makes your heart to skip a beat or to have to beat faster. So if I'm scared, listen, I'm regular walking right here, my heart is normal. If something happened, well, my heart is gonna beat faster. Then it's gonna go faster down. Then I'm gonna see the one of the beats that are gonna be closer to the old one, because now I got scared and my heart is beating faster. That's basically what it is. So if we're gonna look at an EKG, we're gonna see that happening. It's gonna be a premature, an early wave. The other one will be uninterrupted by a pause, meaning the heartbeat disappears. You don't see the QRS. on that EKG. You might not see the P, the QRS, one bit disappears. But you're gonna see the space where that, that bit's supposed to be. So that's basically what it's telling you right there. So it's gonna be regular with an interrupted or regular with a premature beat. Still, it's considered normal. How do I know that it's still considered normal? Because there is only one difference between all the rhythm. Everything is normal until you get to this little beat. And then everything continues normal and normal and normal. Ready? So here it is, regular rhythm with an interrupted. Now, there is an interruption right here, see? This beat is 11. Something happened right here with the heart, so now this is long. If we unite these two, we might have like right here in the middle. So it went faster. So that was premature, remember. It went faster than the other. This came before it was supposed to be here, but because something happened at that moment, so then the heartbeat skips, kind of goes faster than normal, and you're gonna see it closer, but then continues normal without problem. So this will be interrupted with premature beat. The other one will be interrupted, but with a pause. With the pause, we're not gonna see anything. See, here is supposed to be another beat.
It's supposed to be another QR.
Yeah, exactly, but it's missing. Why? Because it disappeared. Something happened in that moment. Does not imply now if I have two of these consecutively on one of these strips, that is a condition. That's a problem. Remember, this is like you. You come every day to class. One day you didn't show up. Are you gonna fail the class because of that? Somebody's gonna make noise because of that. Not supposed to, right? But someone who comes all the time late, never comes to class, well, attend the class very regularly, that's a pattern, right? That's something that is going on. Something is going on. Here, it's just little something. You got an emergency, something like that, but all the time come here. So that's regularity and irregularity. When you see the pattern, you go to work every day, start at 7 in the morning, leave at 5, every day you are on time, you are regular. Irregular, you go one day, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, you leave at 3, sometimes you don't show up, that's irregular. That's basically what it is. So, just for you to remember, sometimes you go too early. One day you went too early, the office was not open. Then you learn your lesson, said, oh, this office is open at this time. Anyways, I had to be at that time. So let's say that you were premature, you were earlier. So one of them, or you were late. So the same thing. So whenever you see this regularity, but only one thing that does not match, something that is off, still considered regular. Here is just a repetition of what we did. We're gonna calculate the heart rhythm, irregular rhythms. Remember, when you use the irregular rhythms, usually we have to use, remember, the 6 method. Always, because there is no way we can just calculate a regular rhythm using the large boxes or the small boxes, because all of them has to meet the same thing. Our intervals vary throughout the strip with no pattern. The rhythm is inextricably chaotic. See, this is what is going on. Let's go back to the picture so you can understand all this. Who can understand that? Doesn't follow any directions. It's everywhere. I cannot count. See, where is the intervals? I don't see the intervals. I'm not gonna be able to count the intervals, and some of them I will be able to, but then it is one longer than the other. See, they are separated different distances. I don't know what's really going on right there. So that is chaotic. That is irregular. So just the fact that they are not following the same pace, so the rhythm is irregular. So basically what it is. The other ones, you will see that they are like, see, very nice, like every little distance in between the QRSs or the Rs are like in the same distance, the same pace, because that's how the heart is supposed to be. It's the same pace, beats, closes, opens and closes, opens and closes. But if it kind of beats and stay too long for the next beat, and then beats very fast, and then beats, and then stops, your heart is not functioning properly. So that's what's going on right here. Okay, regular or irregular?
Irregular?
I think it's
Because some of them look smaller.
I think it's
and
regular.
Some of them look wider.
Okay, I know as soon as I see it, well, you know, like 100 years experience, but let's use a different color.
Because I know that one right there is smaller, but that one right there look wider.
Yeah, don't let anything goes on your way. Here, here. Oops,
That's
is it?
wider.
Is it?
Wider.
Is it?
Irregular then.
Irregular. If you see two not consistent waves from here to here, as soon as you see it, no. It's not that it's go beyond here. Don't get full port because they are not on the base. No. Think about the distance between here and here, here and here. If I see that here and here and here and here is not the same, I know that is more than two inconsistencies. So immediately I said it's irregular. Is that understood?
yes.
So now this is a little messed up because I don't see anything and I see a bunch of little waves here and there, not kind of clear. So they said, but don't go by that, go by this. So this is irregular. What is the heart rate for this page?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 110? 110? That's over. That's too much.
What is it?
110?
110. 11 times 10 times 10 is 110. That's it. Now, is it normal?
No.
No, it's beyond, it's over. So what condition has this patient?
High blood pressure now.
Correct.
Oh shit.
What?
High blood pressure. If it were less than 60, low blood pressure.
That's how you feel.
What is the medical term for high blood pressure?
Let's see.
¿Cuál es el medical term for low? Hmm?
Tachycardia.
No, tachycardia. Okay, yes. But if the heart rate is beyond 100, it's tachycardia. If it is below 60, it's gonna call bradycardia.
Brady.
Remember the Brady Bunch? So now, if we're talking about blood pressure, then we're gonna talk about hypertension and hypotension.
Oh.
Is
Lower than 60 is what?
Cardio is lower.
Brady.
Yeah, and tally
Yeah.
up.
Hi.
BRA.
Oh no, baby, that's not. I should keep shouting.
See tachycardia,
Tachycardia.
bradycardia. Below 60 bradycardia, above 100 tachycardia. If it is blood pressure, beyond normal levels is hypertension. Below normal levels will be hypotension. Think about people when it says, oh, you hyper. It's because you are
Bouncing around.
right.
High blood pressure. And hypo means down.
Mm-hmm. Hypo means lower. Hyper, higher. So this is important. These are questions for the exam. That's why you need to know the normal values. So when you encounter the abnormal, high or low, you understand what the terms are used for that. Very good.
A little.
This one, regular or irregular?
Irregular.
Look carefully. Regular or irregular?
Regular. Regular.
The distance between here and here is the same as here and here? Yes.
It be throwing you off though because it's like we so used to looking at everything, not just looking at the
Correct.
QRS.
So don't go, that's where I like to present the pictures. Because as soon as you see it, we are not saying here that the patient is having a problem. We're not trying to figure out whether the patient is sick or not. This patient is sick. It has
blood pressure. I mean his heart rate.
bradycardia. Every heartbeat, what is the heart rate for this patient? 30. This patient is already collapsed.
Yeah, like
This patient is not conscious.
save him actually.
This patient, we need to save it. Otherwise, in less than 2 hours, it's going to be gone. So don't go by, oh, I don't see many of them. That's like kind of too far away one from the, no worries. We're not trying to find out what is the condition of the patient. What we're trying to do is counting the heart rate. That is all. That's what happened to us because we are putting too much in our brains, trying to find out the most difficult thing. Always. I have one of my students that just finished and he says, oh, professor, do you think that I'm going to get a job? That's something that I cannot answer. I know that I prepare you. You should feel comfortable. You should feel that you know you can do it. But if right now you're thinking like, oh, am I gonna get a job? Just the thought of not feeling comfortable enough, you're not gonna apply for a job. You're not gonna get it because you're not gonna apply because you feel like you're not gonna get it.
When I applied for the hospital, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. But then, like, when I got the interview, I noticed something. If you and the interview person ever get into a personal conversation about life, period, you got the job. Because every time that happened to me, I got the job. Like, every time, like, we start talking about something that don't got nothing to do with the job. But when I was working at the hospital, I was scared because it's the hospital. But I just went in there and was like, I was myself. I was like, hey, like, I was just myself. The only thing that they really cared about for me is my earrings. My ears, because, you know, it get caught on stuff.
What's with your earring?
I have gauges.
Okay.
So, like, when it doesn't have this in, it's like a hole. So, like, that's the only thing they asked me to do is plug up my ears. Because I was working at the mental institute, so, you know, just in case.
Oh, well, maybe because of that. Because I'll be worried more about your nails and other things.
Oh,
Not,
no, I don't even wear that.
Now, if you have these big earrings, like huge, you know, like rings,
Nah, that can't go.
car rings, if you will, that's a different issue. But yeah, you have to go there comfortable enough to show who you are, you know?
Especially if you like want to stay in the medical thing, they love that. they just love it. Like if you be like, yeah, like I wanna be a mortician. Like I told them I wanted to be a mortician.
Right.
They was like, yeah, we love you. Like they love people that want to stay.
Yeah, you're not gonna go there for a medical and then you say, no, actually what I wanna be is I wanna be in the post office. I am one person. I said, what has post office? Oh, I like the mail room. I was seriously? Don't say it. For the time being now, if you go for an interview, how you see yourself in 5 years? Well, I want to be a counter. Seriously, you're working in the medical now, so you are not someone that are. That's a different issue. You are in the same field, correct?
I want to do the NP thing. I want to do wound care. What nurses do I do?
Yeah, you do wound care.
I could do NP?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, just as a nurse, you can do wound care.
I have a question though, Professor. So what kind of questions do they ask you in an internship interview?
Well, I don't know exactly what they ask, but if we go by the interviews that they do you for a work, it's similar.
That's why I was saying.
But I
It's
don't have time for that. My interview's on Friday. Like, I don't know, like,
Honestly, when you go.
Which Friday?
this Friday.
Do you have already the class professional development already?
No, I don't start that till what,
She
next
start
week?
that when we started next week.
Yeah, but I leave on the, what will we leave, the 5th or the 13th?
To do that
13.
internship.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
I just feel like
I feel
treat
like
it
it's
a
like
regular interview
yeah.
and just be
Right.
yourself,
Yeah.
and that's it. Cause
Yeah.
it's like it's
First
an
of all,
internship.
The way that you present yourself. Dress professionally.
Oh yeah, of course.
Simple but professional.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my hands on it.
Exactly.
I said
No.
It's
And that- that's
regular.
right.
Like I went to a hospital interview and it was about regular. It was regular. And they asked you if you have medical experience or.
like I'm telling you,
whatever.
it's, they actually like you go to Target to get an interview.
Mhm.
Just act like you going to Target. They just want to ask you about your medical experience. It's just like
Cause
they
he
gonna
fake
ask
did a
you.
little interview with me on the phone on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like
The
I was
person
at
who
work.
you're gonna go to do the
Yeah.
internship to, what did they ask you?
He basically asked me if I know how to speak Spanish. I said yes, and then he had like
You
a
do
whole
speak
five-
Spanish?
Yeah. Then he had like a whole 5-minute conversation with me to see if I
In
could,
Spanish?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he asked like where I learned how to speak Spanish, and I told him my
And your family.
I grew up with it. He was like, okay. He asked if I know how to like read it and write it. I said yes. And then after that, he asked like what hours I would prefer,
Mhm.
and I told him that I work, but the school required like 25 hours a week, 300
Mhm.
hours in total. So
Oh, let me ask Gina.
after that, he was like, okay, but the way he was talking was like, he was like so straightforward, so I was like scared because it didn't sound like he was like interested. And then I got an
No, they
email.
was just asking questions.
Yeah.
Remember, this is not a hire. This is just for you to have the internship.
Mhm.
One of the things done usually the internship sites have issues that I might see is the time that you can provide to them.
Well, he was actually nice. He accommodated because
Mhm.
when we was on the phone, it didn't sound like he liked the hours.
Mm-hmm.
But he sent me an email and he said that I could do 9 to 2 and do like 25 hours a week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the hours that I work for work. But my patient said that she's okay with switching the hours.
For your home health aid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm a case coordinator, so I get jobs for the home team. But I wanted to become a home health aide so I could have
Like experience.
so I could have the chance to do my internship and then work. Because you know, you girls could work whatever hours you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
Yeah, but
I don't
that's
have time for
mostly.
that right now to do it.
Yeah, those are very important feedback right there with your interview because what they concern about is the time that you are available to work with them. Remember, the more time that you can give to them, the better. How many hours actually you're gonna have for internship?
It's 9 to 2 every day, so that's
No, total hours. That is required 200, 300.
So
Yeah,
that's how
that's-
many weeks?
yeah, that's 3
That's 3
months.
No,
months.
how many 3 months? How many months?
That's 3 months.
That's like on a 90-day probation.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something.
And I was going.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to tell Gina I'm gonna have to do that internship on another time because I don't have the time. Right
That's why
I
I'm
can't
asking
quit my
her now,
job.
like, can I start my internship now? Because if I could find somebody that's going to let me do an internship now, I could do it while I'm in school. Just get it over with. So when I do it.
I'm working.
Now remember that
I'm
if
working
you're doing a
8 to
job
4.
that is related to whatever you're doing now and you know how to draw blood and you know how to do certain things, they actually can waive that. Asking a
I'm not
letter
working
from
at
your
the moment.
workplace.
I'm trying to find I'm not trying to find a job. It's like hard to find a job that like gives you a set schedule. So like I'm trying, it's hard for me.
My mom is gonna be a partner.
But I'm trying to find something that I can work in the morning because I have this at night, and I don't want it to collide or feel like I got 20-minute gap to get here.
Oh
I
no,
don't wanna
that's
feel like that.
that's enough.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so
Because then you're gonna be running from one place. Oh no, you're not gonna make
and
it
then
on
I'm gonna
time.
end up getting frustrated and not want to do one.
No,
or
it's
the
not gonna
other.
work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
So I'm trying to find.
I've been
something
doing
that's
that, and I
more
know I have done that. I know that it's not healthy either way.
Well, home health aides, you gotta do a training for it, right?
Yeah.
So
But
you
it
hire
depends
home
what
health
school
care?
you go to.
No, so I don't do the hiring. I get them the jobs.
So no, I'm talking about money wise.
I
the money
place
problem
them.
is the problem.
Yeah.
with pay
And
for
the,
it is my problem because I'm
elderly
not working at the
people.
moment.
Who does the interview?
I mean, once you
Oh, the,
where
HR.
I-
Also,
once you finish the
Oh, when
training, you
they
start working right away.
kind of go to the interview, says we
Because I gotta
accepting,
pay
we
for the
hiring
training.
this
So they
person,
hire
they come to you.
Then they give
And
us.
then you send them to the side.
Yeah, so then they send us a
Oh,
list
yeah, I
of the
don't
new
know.
hires. And then I find, I look their address, find their location, and see the member's address. And if they
How
call
much
me,
money
You know,
makes you
see,
know?
I cannot never go back into them. I got kicked out.
$18 an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
For 1 hour,
For all
so
the work.
I know you could get into it for
So
sure.
you better as a medical assistant then, because I was
That's
like,
what I wanna
I
do.
don't care.
I wanna
Now,
get.
Alright.
So my cousin, she was
My
I
question
need to
for
work.
you.
Like I got bills and stuff,
Sorry
and then
that
my
I-
birthday coming up. No low key.
I have
I'm
no
tight.
time,
I'm
I'm not gonna lose my
and I'm about to
job
not
and things
celebrate
like
my
that.
birthday.
Listen, when
I
is it
need
that
me
you're
to-
gonna have the
I
time
need
to
someone
do
about
the
me a cake.
internship so
I
that
have
you
to
can
Gina's not
change
online
that
right now,
job?
so I can't.
I have
ask
3
her if-
kids.
I
And I just
said-
been quitting my job for
Yeah.
3
Oh,
months.
well.
Cause I need to ask her like,
Listen to this.
if I get an internship
You're
right
gonna
now,
tell
got the
your
email?
boss that
Yeah,
you
something.
are going to take a part-time job.
That's it. Call them in the morning and ask
They
them.
don't?
They usually have the classes.
So
like
then
every
when
morning.
you do the
Yeah.
internship,
That's what I'm
That's
trying
gonna
to
Call
be
them
tough.
and ask them.
and then that means
Yeah,
that if you
they'll
don't do
pull
the
that up and
internship,
you're gonna pay.
you're not gonna be in the program.
cause I could do this in the morning and then just come straight, come here after whatever the case
So the
is.
only thing is the class is
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I just don't know if I can do
But
it.
it's for like
On the
4 weeks
13th.
and
Cause I'm gonna need time to figure it out.
Oh, no, that you can delay a little bit, but
Yeah. No, I'm
don't
definitely
let
gonna do
this
it.
job,
get benefits.
you know,
everything.
Cause it's
block
hard
you
to find a
because
job that give you the
you don't,
same
And
time
you're not
every
happy
day.
with that job. And you did this course because you want to make more money, and you
It-
definitely.
No, and not
like
only
it.
it's not only the money, Professor. I actually like working with people. And I like
Cause if
to
I can
move
get a
around.
nice
In my job, I'm
paycheck
sitting there
in
8
the
hours.
morning.
That's why you
While I
always see
do
me
this,
exhausted.
That's what I do. I go to my
Because sitting down 8 hours in front of a
Oh,
computer,
I can't like
In front of
it
a
was too much.
computer,
Like I was working
8
when I
hours
first
is
started,
not my thing.
but
I
it
have to
came
move
because
around,
they
interact,
changed
talk
my
to people.
schedule.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
like working with
And it
people,
was like I told you I was in school,
especially the elderly.
and they didn't care. They
That's
was
why
trying
I want to be a
Yeah.
home attendant because it's,
Yeah, like
They
security.
find
was
you,
cute.
you know.
Security.
It's a
Have
lot.
you been in a place
The
where
day I put my 2 weeks in, they was like, "Oh, you can just go home."
have you
It's
seen
crazy.
someone
Like I was like, you know, the crazy part is, I wasn't gonna
familiar
come
with
to
the
I wasn't gonna come to work today. I
It's
wasn't gonna
a
contact y'all. I wasn't gonna do nothing.
I'm
And
a-
for y'all
I'm
to
a
get
case
to 2
coordinator.
weeks and then send me home
Listen.
today. What's
My mom is
not
not
doing
doing it.
But I just want to
Another
get a job in the
thing is to
morning,
keep
every
up.
day at the same
If
time.
somebody gave me most of my
Yeah,
students,
I don't mind wiping no blood. I like to cut the blood
they were
today.
doing
Yeah.
well,
Well,
and
the
they were
people I
sick
have
and
so
tired. It's
far, I
tough.
haven't really
Yes.
done that.
One of my aides that I'm very close to her just called me today complaining. I asked her to do me a favor today and go cover a case. When she got to the case, the patient,
Case is the patient.
the patient,
So I
yes.
respect
So
it.
when she
I
got
did
to
my
the patient's
CNA,
home,
even though
the
I let it-
patient
I let it
has,
expire or
it's a
whatever.
whole,
I was working in a nursing home.
he has a lot of blood. He has
Okay.
So I was
The
wiping the
bathroom.
booties and and put them in the bed and all that. I know
Yeah.
how to
Yeah,
do
they
it.
showed
No.
Okay, that's what you're gonna be doing.
I think that I
Yeah,
didn't have
I know.
the patience.
But we get to choose the thing about home attendants. They get to choose which cases they want, the hours they want to work. If they go to a case, like if I offer her a case, she could be like, oh, I'm going to the case as a replacement. I want to try the case first. I don't want to permanent. They are able
But
to do that.
still, you know, it's tough.
It is.
Because sometimes you're not gonna find a case that you really fit. If you have someone who are mobile, someone who do things who can barely, you're just gonna be there helping, assisting.
Those are the 3-hour cases. When you take cases like, 8 hours, 12 hours, those might be that bound. Real sick patient.
And I don't want to suck no
That's
bullshit.
tough. It's medical assistance for you, maybe nursing or more. You cannot go back.
No,
Remember,
no.
don't go back
I'm
to
gonna figure it out. I was actually crying to my boyfriend yesterday. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I want to finish.
yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
the
I don't know.
purpose.
I think it's like they diet after.
But I know everything's gonna work out.
After that, I don't know what is it that they eat. That shit is just it's like it's a
Okay, so what is the heart rate for this patient? Again?
Professor
Oh,
teacher.
30, yes.
I'm sorry.
When I said, is it regular or irregular, then you respond. But if I said,
At the
what is the
same
heart rate, you have
class.
to give me numbers.
Like inflation.
So if it is 30, what type of heart rate is it?
Huh?
Oh yeah, Brady
Bradycardia. Because
bradycardia.
it's below, this is 30.
Below.
I gotta remember because I don't think
Sorry.
I know Spanish.
No.
I put Brady.
Okay.
I put Brady.
Regular or irregular?
It's,
That's
Irregular.
regular.
So
No, irregular because it got two. It got two things that's one is bigger and one is smaller.
Regular or irregular?
I think that's regular.
I go back to regular.
I think it's regular.
I
Okay,
say-
raise your hand who thinks that is regular.
You said regular.
Don't be afraid, regular.
I'm looking at you like raise your hand.
Remember, don't let other people's opinion to
Change your.
Yeah, change it. That's
I'm not
happening.
regular.
Remember, we have something that is regular with a interrupted premature beat. Here
Okay.
we have
The
it.
interrupted
These
difference.
two, it looks like there are two of them, but it's just one.
Oh, it's
because
just
this
one.
came first and it's supposed to be here.
Okay, I thought it was two. That's
Yeah.
why I was like. I
Yeah,
see
no,
two.
because if the other one is going to be in space, remember, which is this one. Regular or irregular?
Regular. Oh, no, regular.
Regular, because it has only one problem. Now we have a pause because one of the bits is supposed to be here. Remember, it looks very nice and clean. Here, the same distance, here and here, but only one is not meeting the criteria. So, what is the heart rate for this patient? Correct. Regular or irregular?
Regular.
Regular or irregular?
Regular.
What was that?
No, it's regular because there's only one.
Yeah.
One interruption.
They all look uniform until
Look at the now. Here we can use the big blocks.
big blocks.
How many big blocks are here, 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 here?
4,
How many here?
4,
How many here?
4,
See? Now we can divide what?
300.
300 by 4.
Oh.
Oh, now it is
I know what
because
that
it's easy. But if I have more than 4 blocks, I cannot leave one little block on the side. Says, oh no, let's round it up. No, it doesn't work that way. I have to go for everything. I use
about
the
4?
small. Yeah,
75.
correct. So this will be 75. Is 75 normal heart rate or abnormal?
Normal.
Normal. Now, what type of heart rate is this one?
It's a regular.
No, it's regular. We know already. Don't change.
It's a
But what is this?
regular.
Premature. this is a premature heartbeat, ventricular contraction. So see, this is supposed to be here, right in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it came fast, earlier. So remember, there is only one problem right here. There is this one. Everything else looks nice. So whenever you see something like that, pay attention first and look if it is close, because you see there is not, it's not missing. The beat is there, but it's just premature. But if you look at this, the beat is not there at all. It's supposed to be here, but it disappeared. So this is a pause. There was nothing there. The other one is a premature heartbeat.
So can I call it an interruption?
It is an interruption, but one is an interruption with a pause, the other one is an interruption with a heartbeat.
Okay.
Because there are two interruptions. One, premature heartbeat, the other one, a pause.
Okay.
Correct.
This man is so fun with his kids.
This one.
Genetics be fucking up. I swear.
Remember, this is identical to the one that we saw before.
Just now, right? Yeah.
This is the premature heartbeat. This is remember, QRS, this is the one. And QRS is produced by the ventricles. So this is a premature, interrupted premature heartbeat.
Okay.
So that's basically what it is. This,
What you asking? That's a pause.
there is a pause. It's supposed to be a heartbeat right there. Everything else from here to here, from here to here, from here to here is the same. But the problem is here. It's supposed to be here, but it's missing. That will be an interruption with the pause. It says right here the kinds of heart rate. Rhythm is regular. Regularity, remember the pace is the same. Now it's a regular, one heart rate. So all of them goes the same pace. Same pace, no problem. Irregular, range shows lowest to fastest heart rate. One is shorter, the other one is longer, goes all over the place. Irregular, and remember for this case of the regular, we're gonna use the 6-second method. For regulars, we're gonna use the large block or the small block. Said regular but interrupted with a premature beat. Said one heart rate, ignore premature beat. Only one of them is kind of messed up. We're gonna ignore it. Okay. Regular with a pause, we're gonna do the same because it's only one. Now if I have two interrupted premature, that's not regular. So we kind of move that to another category. That's basically what it is. That's to explain all the things that we have done. Okay, regular or irregular?
Regular.
If we come from here to here, from here to here, now you get used. Don't get fooled by all these little things because this person is having a medical condition. Okay, so this person this is not a normal EKG. It is abnormal. But we were talking about the heart rate, then what will be the heart rate for this patient?
100.
100. Is 100 normal or abnormal? It is normal because it's 60 to 100 beats per minute. Therefore, it is normal. Now, here we see something that is not normal, but that's not your
business.
Well, not your business at this time, but it's not your concern. It's not your concern right now because they asking you for heart rate, whether it's regular or irregular, and what is the heart rate. So that's it. Because if I said this is none of your business, that's kind of rude, right? Somebody might say, oh, wait. What about this, regular or irregular?
Regular.
It is regular. What is the heart rate for this patient?
70.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 10, 70. Is it normal or abnormal?
Normal.
Normal. Good. Regular or irregular?
Regular.
See, it doesn't matter if this goes all the way to the roof. It's only one problem. If you don't see this, what is it?
It's regular.
It's regular, but with a premature heartbeat. It is okay. It's just only one little problem right there. But if this problem repeats twice, 3 times, then we have an issue. Only one, we ignore it. Everything is irregular. But this is a premature heartbeat, remember. But it's regular. What is the heart rate for this patient?
110. And it's a
tachycardia.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11.
Yeah, you're not counting this.
Yeah, yeah, 110.
Isn't it 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, 110.
110. Okay.
He had me a little. I was sitting here like, hold on, am I saying it? Like, my math was kind of unmathing just now.
Yeah. She was doubting herself.
I was sitting like, maybe I need to count it over.
Okay, regular or irregular?
Regular.
And what is the problem right there?
It's a pause.
It is a pause right there. What is the heart rate for this patient?
70.
70, yeah.
Regular or irregular?
Regular.
Regular. Normal or abnormal?
Normal.
Heart rate?
Normal.
It's a normal heart rate.
Abnormal?
Normal.
Oh, normal.
Because there's
Yeah,
only like
70.
one pause.
Regular or irregular?
Irregular.
Yeah, I see regular glass, I see 2 more than
Look at
one.
the from here to here, from here to here, more. O sea, so if you look at it, it's irregular. What is the heart rate for this patient?
80.
Normal heart rate or abnormal heart rate?
Normal.
Very good. Regular or irregular?
Odi bamba.
That is regular. I think it's regular.
That's regular.
Yeah, they look like they match up.
We're not worried about it going down.
There we
We're worried about
go.
the spaces.
Matching up the.
And it's regular.
Exactly. You count from here to here, from here to here, not the sloppy.
It's a low heart rate.
I can't be my teacher.
What is the heart rate?
50.
You guys are good. Usually for this class, I have people crying, crying. All the time they said irregular. Everything that they see is irregular, because it goes like on
I
slope.
think I'm gonna do EKG as a job. I just need to know how to put the machine in that
Okay, good.
It's not that,
You could.
that bad.
It's pretty easy.
I think it's better than.
I
like it.
Well,
I would have like body. Yes.
Listen.
So Saturdays you giving classes? Because
that means
I would like to know about it.
Wait, you said Saturdays you doing?
Yeah, but it's in Spanish.
I'm very fluent in Spanish.
Yeah, but usually I have phlebotomy on Saturdays.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know Spanish, but I just want to work on the clinical part. But you said that you was gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this
For-
after this
yeah, you
class.
say-
Remember, we're gonna cut short
Cause we got.
professional development.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Because
And
you
you
don't
gonna
need
do
too
it
much
then.
stuff of that. The only thing that you need from professional development is the
Resume,
things
right?
that you know, but the resume.
But I would
right?
like to know about your Saturday classes.
Yeah.
I need to go. I need to go to those.
And if you want to come to my classes and practice after that, because usually every month I have 2 Saturdays, continuous Saturdays.
I don't know, baby. I ain't gonna know what's going on in the class. I'm gonna just be
Because
serious.
the more you practice, see, what makes a good medical assistant? That you know the practicals. How to behave is up to you. How you gonna, talk to your patients, how you gonna manage your time, this is up to you.
Because
But the practicals is up to us to give you all
I
those.
heard that medical assistant, of course you have to know
you know, the HIPAA and everything, but it's more a hands-on job. Like it's more
Correct.
like what you do because it's
Not
like
acting like you're
repetitive.
stuck up or whatever.
Yeah. This is the same thing like you're doing right now. Your job demands this. And in your job, you need to know HIPAA because you have to protect your patient's information.
When I went into my job, I did not know nothing, and I cried for the first 3 months.
First teacher, because
It
I
seems
did
like
not
you like to cry a lot. You were crying
I'm a
to your
crybaby.
boyfriend.
I'm a crybaby. I am. I cry a lot. But I was crying for the first 3 months. I used to tell them, oh, I don't want to go back. And now I know my job like this.
It's like anything else I've been telling you.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't know and you don't feel comfortable with the job, it's gonna be hard. And you kind of insecure that you can do it. Always put yourself that you can do it. There are, look at around you. Sometimes you see people, they say, wow, if this person can do it. Not because you underestimate anyone, but sometimes you see people that really don't know how they got those
Yo,
jobs.
Kiki got home, guys. I don't know if you care, but she got home. She's taking her asthma.
Oh, she got home. That's good. Yeah, no, that's good.
She's taking her asthma machine now.
Kim, who?
The
She
girl.
got home.
Oh yeah, oh,
Yeah.
oh she texted
Yeah.
you. Okay,
Yeah, that's
good.
good.
It's 646.
Oh, my bad, girl.
That's alright.
Uh huh.
571 8804.
8804.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't answer her number. That's why I didn't get the
Okay,
call.
let's take a break. So
Okay.
we'll start the new chapter and
So we can eat
a little
this
fresh.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know where's the closest